Well, happy Friday, everybody. I just had the fastest DaVita appointment of my life. Crazy. I get out of the parking lot here. So, apparently, I didn't even need blood work done today. I just had to get my shot, which I think it's called Mircera. I could be totally wrong. Anyways, I believe it's supposed to help my body absorb iron. I think that's what's happening. I should probably pay more attention, but I tell you what, today I am just tired. I've had a very strenuous week. I actually got a phone call from my primary doctor that said they had a cancellation and if I wanted to go in to have my back surgery done. So I did. I went in and it was pretty interesting. In and out, so not like terribly awful, but also a little nerve-wracking. But now my back is feeling much better. We'll see how it goes. They did end up taking some samples. I think you call it a biopsy or something like that, because they want to make sure that it's not cancerous since it seems suspicious, apparently. So yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's kind of gross. I don't want to really talk about it too much because I'll just throw up. And so yeah, you know, things start to change when you start to get the ripe age of over 35, I tell you. Dialysis doesn't always help either. I mean, even though dialysis is definitely a win-win situation and I live my best life on dialysis, there's still health issues that come along with it. So it's not like, you know, always just the easiest thing. And it's taxing on the body. The body's consistently in crisis mode because your body is in trauma mode due to being on dialysis in general. The dialysis itself really doesn't cause any red flags, but your body doesn't know that. It just knows there's an invader, which is my port, knows that I'm doing things differently than what the body was DNA programmed to do. So I'm just constantly in crisis mode, which is why it's really hard for me to cool down in the summer and heat up in the winter, because my body's just like, we don't need to deal with that. We got enough on our plate to deal with this over here and keeping you alive and doing what we're supposed to be doing. And so I guess in a sense it's always slapping on band-aids inside my system, hoping that they'll help heal things when realistically, like, I don't grow back a kidney, so it's not like it can ever be remedied unless I get a transplant to a point, because yes, then I have a kidney that is functioning in the transplant, but then there's the issue of the transplant itself and just how your body wants to reject a new kidney. So, you know, I mean, there's so many things that your body's just ready to keep you alive and do whatever it takes. And sometimes the wires get a little crossed because they're like, wait a second, this isn't your kidney, and so they want to kill it. But you have to take medicine to keep it from killing it and doing what it knows to do. So that's really why I don't get transplant. Plus, I don't know about it. Like, I don't know that I want to take a kidney from somebody, especially my children. Like, no, I do not want to take a kidney from them, because we're born with 2 kidneys for a reason. And people who donate a kidney are oftentimes not told the reality that one day you might need a kidney. So it's kind of like a weird circle that happens, and I just don't want to put people through that. Now, if somebody is deceased accident or something unexpected, it's a little bit easier. But I was just actually watching this movie. Check this out, okay, guys? I was watching this movie where this girl gets a heart transplant. And typically, transplant recipients are not told who gave the transplant because there's just some weird stuff that can happen. For example, in this movie, she decides that she's going to investigate and find out who the owner of her heart was, and she ends up contacting his mother, and the mother was like, come and visit. So she goes to visit her, and they become good friends, and the mother is kind of like put at ease and feeling peaceful about it all, and even the death of her son, because this girl's pretty cool, and like she's in a sense able to feel her son is still there and doing good in the world, la la la, right? Well, then it comes down to how the girl who got the transplant is kidnapped and going to be abused, or not really abused so much as in like murdered, because she's discovering why this kid ended up dying, which ended up being a suicide. So that was sad. But then there's this weird underlying story of like, will the past choices that this kid made affect the heart that is now transplanted in a totally different person? Like, isn't that creepy? Like, I don't know. Like, if you had somebody who murdered somebody and you end up getting their organ, is that weird? See, it's weird stuff like that comes up when you're talking about transplant. I don't know what the answer is. Of course, there's people who will be like, well, that's ridiculous. Like it doesn't affect, it's just a muscle. Is it though? I mean, it has seen and functioned through some pretty horrific things, but I don't know. To each their own. They have to figure out, there's lots of people who are totally 100% on board for transplant and like willing to donate their organs. I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist, so in my head I'm like, I'm not going to put down that I'm an organ donor, because how do I know that they're not going to harvest an organ earlier than what would be expected, because I put that I was an organ donor. And I've had some medical people say little things that were like, well, the organ donating is a big money making thing, and it's not just legit. It's like black market stuff that you would never even think of, because you're thinking what a great thing, but if there's enough money involved and enough bribery going on, you might go in getting your leg fixed, and all of a sudden your organs have been harvested and you are on your way to meet Jesus. So I never put that I'm an organ donor, but in the event that I were to perish, then if people could use anything, then that's fine with me. But isn't that wild? Like, some people are just so ready to help others, which is so wonderful. But then, I don't know, there's just a weird area, and I don't even know why anybody needs to know that immediately. Like on your license, I don't think that should be on there at all. But it's kind of taking advantage of a really good thought process behind it, because you want to be giving and you want to help others and you want to help humanity, but the world isn't always black and white with right and wrong. There's a lot of sketchy things that happen. There's the black web that has things on there that you shouldn't be a part of. So I don't know, but I'm not interested in transplant, just so it's on the record. Not yet, at least. Maybe one day, but as of right now, not really. Except that sometimes it's kind of hard in the summer because I would love to take Charlie swimming. I would love to be able to not be afraid of falling in the water. Like, that would be awesome. It'd be awesome to be able to jump into the pool. Like, you know, I love swimming, so that's a bit of a hardship, but that's probably the only bit of hardship that I would say that I have when it comes to dialysis. Sometimes time, though, like there's been a couple times where I'm like, oh, I gotta do dialysis, where usually I'm not affected by it at all, but there have been one or two times where I was like, oh man. Well, I'm gonna run into Safeway really quickly to get some coffee creamer for tomorrow, and sourdough bread. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a good day. Drink your water and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.